In the sun-dappled heart of the whispering woods, where dandelion clocks told the time in puffs of seeds and streams hummed ancient melodies, lived a fairy named Elara. She was not a grand fairy, not one of the court of oak or the Mistral monarchs. Elara was a glimmerfolk, a keeper of small essential magics. Her wings were the colour of a faded forget-me-not, and her sole responsibility was to tend to the lumina blossoms, flowers that held the very last drops of pure, untainted starlight. The world beyond the woods was forgetting magic, forgetting wonder, forgetting the soft, gentle things. A creeping gloom they called the apathy had seeped from the cracks of a stressed and weary world. It was not a violent evil, no army of darkness, but something far more insidious. It was a grey silence that smothered laughter, a heavy weight that made poets lay down their pens and scientists forget their wonder. Colours bled to grey, music fell flat, and stories lost their endings. The world was not ending with a bang, but with a weary, uninterested sigh. Elara felt it. Her lumina blossoms, which usually pulsed with a soft, silvery light, began to dim. Their petals curled at the edges, their music fading to a faint hum. Fear, cold and sharp, pricked at her heart. She flew to the elder tree, where the great fairy council convened. "The apathy thickens," said Oberon, his majestic wings drooping. "Our strongest magics are useless against it. It is not a thing to be fought, but a void to be filled. And we have nothing strong enough. The humans have forgotten how to see us," Titania whispered, her voice heavy with sorrow. "They no longer believe in wonder. Without their belief, our magic fades." Elara, hiding behind a leaf, felt a tiny, desperate idea begin to form. It was a foolish thing, a glimmerfolk thought, but as she looked at the dimming lumina blossoms, she knew it was all she had. That night, while the court slept in despair, Elara worked. She plucked every single lumina blossom, gathering a basket of fading starlight. It was a terrible risk. If her plan failed, the last light would be gone forever. With her small arms straining, she flew, not to the powerful heart of the woods, but towards the fading world. She went to the city where the grey was deepest. She found a young artist, staring at a blank canvas, all his inspirations stolen. Elara dipped her finger into the essence of a lumina blossom and traced a single, shimmering line of starlight on the canvas. The artist blinked. Then, with a sudden, sharp intake of breath, he grabbed a brush and began to paint, not in greys, but in furious, vibrant colours. She found a little girl crying because her toy was broken and nothing seemed fun. Elara sprinkled a pinch of glittering pollen into her hair. The girl stopped, looked at the broken toy, and saw not a tragedy, but a puzzle. A giggle, bright and clear, cut through the silent street. She flew to an old man who had forgotten the words to his favourite song. Alighting on his windowsill, she hummed the melody, the sound infused with the soft chime of the blossoms. His eyes, once cloudy, cleared. He smiled and began to sing, his voice rusty but true. Elara was not fighting the apathy. She was mending the world, stitch by tiny stitch. She used the starlight not as a weapon, but as a reminder of a colour, a punchline to a forgotten joke, the perfect word on the tip of a tongue, the warmth of a shared memory. The apathy recoiled. It had no defence against this. You cannot fight joy. You cannot argue with a sudden, unexpected melody. You cannot extinguish a spark of curiosity once it has been lit. News of the small miracles spread, not as news, but as a feeling, a sense of lightness, a rumour of hope. People began to look up, to listen, to smile at strangers. They started creating again, loving again, believing again. And with every laugh that echoed, every song that was sung, every story that was shared, the magic of the world grew stronger. Exhausted, her wings tattered, and her basket almost empty, Elara returned to the whispering woods. She expected to be punished for using the last of the starlight. Instead, she found the woods blazing with light. The lumina blossoms had not just regrown, they had multiplied, their light brighter and more vibrant than ever before, fed by the renewed wonder of the world. Oberon and Titania bowed to her, their eyes shining with respect. "You did not save the world with power, little one. Oberon said, his voice thick with emotion. You saved it with meaning. Elara, the small fairy of the Glimmerfolk, had understood what the Great Ones had not. That the world doesn't need a mighty sword to be saved. Sometimes it just needs a little light in the right place. A reminder of the magic that was always there, waiting to be remembered. And so, the Keeper of Small Magics became the saviour of all, proving that even the tiniest spark can illuminate the deepest darkness. The end. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.